For anybody interested in personal or spiritual growth, I think it's important to realize that you actually have 48 hours in a single day with which to work on yourself and your life. The reason that is because spiritual growth, personal growth, is growth in the domain of both external and internal. There's the outer activity, the way we use our time in the actual world on the outside of our bodies, what we do with our mouth, with our hands, with our body, how we spend our time is what we typically think about. And that over a 24-hour period, any 24-hour period, there's what we're actually doing. And there's so much information about how to use that time more productively, more effectively, more positive, life-affirming ways. But running in parallel to that 24-hour period of what you're doing on the outside is an internal world. There's your mind and your body on the inside, and what you're doing with it on the inside is distinct from what you're doing on the outside. For example, you could be sweeping your front of your house while inside thinking about the groceries. You could be sweeping the front of your house while inside contemplating gratitude. You could be sweeping the front of your house while inside just watching and witnessing and observing. You could be doing any number of things on the inside while doing one single thing on the outside, and vice versa. You could be doing one thing on the inside while doing lots of different things on the outside. So if that's the case, then we actually are living two 24-hour periods simultaneously on the inside and the outside. And the reason this distinction is useful is because it has you realize that you don't need to make time when the existing 24-hour period to work on the things on the inside. You can actually use any of those 24 hours to work on things on the inside because it's a separate world and it has its own chronological time that it passes through. Some examples of this could be, I'm going to sit here with my son while he watches the iPad, and I'm going to practice meditating and loving him. So on the outside, I could judge myself for that not being a productive use of father-son time, and he shouldn't be on the iPad, and I should be trying to get him off, and blah, 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 blah. But all of that means that I'm actually using my inside time outside of awareness to judge the situation that's happening right now as wrong, which is an internal conflict. I'm not even aware that I'm using my inside time for judgment, but then with outside of the awareness, it's actually driving my outside time. And so here's the trick, that inside time and outside time, they are entangled. But if you can just separate them and start to see their distinction, that you can actually disentangle them, and you can actually put attention on shifting the use of your time on the inside, which will, because they will re-entangle, and they are actually always entangled on an energetic level, it will start to influence how you use your outside time. And I used this example this morning in a coaching conversation, but deciding to sit and witness my son while he watches the iPad, it has me be more present, I stop judging him, and all of a sudden my presence draws him out of the screen more effectively than any argument or suggestion or ordering him ever could, or ever has anyway. How I use my inside time shifts my state of being, which changes how I use my outside time, because the outside use of time, the activities I do in the world, are sourced from and filled with the spirit of what I'm doing with my inside time. So if I put my attention on the inner clock, that inner calendar we could say, and how I'm using that, I actually affect my effectiveness of my outside activity, which then affects the world and changes how they're using their outside time. Probably through how it's changing how they experience time from the inside, right? So anyway, let's not get too complicated about it. Let's keep it simple. The simple idea here that I want to get across is becoming aware that every minute of every hour of the day, all 24 hours, you have two worlds in which there is activity occurring. Inner time and outer time. That's 48 hours. So how you're using your inner time, bring attention to that. You will explode in the amount of time you have available to create yourself, to grow yourself. Start using the time that already exists. Instead of trying to move things around or, oh, I got to shift my schedule. I need to make time for this, make time for that, so I can meditate, so I can do this. Whoa, 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 whoa. I need to shift things out there so I can have the time and space to do something in here. That's an idea. And it's an idea that says you only have 24 hours both in and out and it's the same. It's not. You can make them independent. Interdependent. There's an independence and they relate to each other. But see how they can be experienced separately and start practicing. If you don't have any idea about what to use for with your inside time, then look to all the spiritual practices and the personal growth and all the things you can be doing that don't require your body on the outside or communication with the outside world. A client brought up a great example today, which is on the cusp. It's in the center, which I think is a good one to look at because it's in the center of inside time and outside time. It's a good one to help see the distinction. That's a breathing practice. And a breathing practice is something that can help to bring you present to your inside experience of your body and what's actually occurring inside you privately. But it requires breath, which is also something that's required in many interactions with people. I've discovered this through trying to use breath practice as an inside time practice. When I'm with people, suddenly they ask a question, they're like, dude, why aren't you answering? And I'm taking these deep breaths, and I'm like, you okay? And it's like, I was just doing the breath practice. It's like, it's not completely inside because it touches the outside world, and it's not completely outside because it's really about bringing you present to your inner experience. It doesn't make it right or wrong. I'm just using it as an example to show you where the line is. So an inside time practice would be thinking about something. You can do pretty much anything while thinking about something else. You could lift weights while thinking about gratitude. I'm not saying it's the most useful or effective. I'm just saying that you can think anything while doing anything, pretty much. Unless you're brand new at it, maybe you need to put some thinking attention onto it. Gratitude, judgment, non-judgment, forgiveness, witnessing. You can go on and on and on. You get the idea. 48 hours. From this moment, in this video, right now, while you're watching this, start a clock. You got 48 hours in the next 24 hours. See how more effectively you can use them just in seeing that. Today, this 48-hour day is the perfect day for you to create who you are on the inside, which creates your world on the outside. You're loved and you're powerful, and I'm so grateful that you're here and that you're watching. And if you'd like to learn more about how to create yourself, visit my website. Read about the Creating Perspective. You can join my creators class. We have a lesson every single month where I go deep into these things as exercises in the community for you to work on. In addition to that, I also create with people in conversation. Being in one-to-one dialogue with me is the most helpful way for you to access your capacity to create everything you want in your life through doing only what you love.
For joyous entry. The Queen is arriving.
Did you hear that? That's my Alexa announcing that my wife's about to arrive. I'm going to go focus on that. I love you for being here. I'll talk to you soon.